Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for what is a different type of video that I'm hoping to create. This is my Ubisoft press conference 2020 wish list, and so what I was thinking is, uh, of course, I'm hoping to do this for a couple of them. The first one is obviously Ubisoft is the most is the games industry. Well, it's the first one that's coming up. So I thought I'd start with this one anyway. Um, of course, I'm not. This is not my type of video that I would usually put on the channel. I put streams on there personally, and edits of said stream. And this may be a little bit out of my depth for editing wise, but we'll see where we go. It's the first of hopefully many many cool videos. I wouldn't put like game. Enough about that. I just want to put like different videos on there, something I'm proud of, shall we say. This will be proper edited. So should we start then? We got Watch Dogs Legion as my first priority because I personally think that it changes the formula quite a bit from the previous games. Well, as you could probably tell, from what it looks like, it mixes dark storytelling from Watch Dogs 1 and the happy-go-lucky characters in Watch Dogs 2, which I was really excited about because the one thing I did miss from playing Watch Dogs 2 was the darker storytelling aspect. While it was there for some scenes, it just felt like it was brushed off at some points. That's why I enjoyed Watch Dogs 2, but if I was to put in order, I honestly preferred Watch Dogs 1 a lot more, even though it had the most boring-ass main character, just to say, Aiden Pierce, but he was still badass. Let's be honest, he was still badass. So what do I expect out of this event? Should I start with? Obviously I'm expecting like a gameplay for it, pure hardened gameplay. I want the story utmost and foremost. So like missions that you can go to do, and it has a whole main story to it. Even if your main character like dies or anything like that, I want it to be very fluid in that way. You are this person, and it doesn't matter who does it per se. It just matters that the job is done. So how I think of it is that how they could do it, where it was like they put it on a bounty. But if you see like some sort of bounty, like this person needs to die, and how you do it is up to you. That's the sort of mission structure I'm hoping for, and sort of storytelling I'm awesome hoping to get. But the idea of the storytelling can evolve through different characters that not only you can add backstory to through your own imagination, of course, but through actual storytelling through the story. So instead of you've got storytelling before different characters, of course. So as we've seen in gameplay trailers, that we've got the old granny. You can think of cool stories for that one, but the main story itself will be the idea of building up this resistance in. Well, the story is that we are in post-Brexit Britain dystopia future. I know, a lot of words, a lot of descriptions, but it personally it does a lot to not just the gameplay but the story that I'm really excited to see. But you gotta realise that I'm hoping for a lot of gameplay because we've only seen I think it's one trailer. Well, it had like 6 minutes of gameplay, which was great for the first time ever seeing the game. We do need to see a hell of a lot more gameplay and hopefully a release date for I'm guessing October, if I were to have a guess. But then again, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Actually, I'm going to change my guess to November. So we've got Assassin's Creed in October, and we're going to get Watch Dogs in November. And so with Watch Dogs Legion, hopefully, I'm hoping it starts the gate out saying this is coming out, this is the gameplay trailer. And I've heard that the conference is only going to be an hour, so like, oh, here's a gameplay trailer, here's a release date, pre-order now. And so many confusing versions of it, like the gold, silver, and like the 7 different versions of it. But still, I'm looking forward to it. and I hope it does so well. On to our next, next wishlist thing, whatever I want to call it, is Rainbow Six Quarantine. I think this was revealed last year. I think it was, yeah, because it was basically what they did was they took the game mode of from Rainbow Six Siege, their zombie-like game mode, and now what I'm thinking is they're producing the proper game out of it. So I'm looking forward to that because I massively enjoyed with a couple of mates just killing zombies. It was plain stupid fun. I don't expect a £60 price point unless they give me something that should be worth it. If it was just a couple of missions like probably what Left 4 Dead is, I personally for me, I wouldn't buy it. But you know, you can never know other people's opinions on that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, mainly because I'm hoping it's a £40 game, a little cheaper than what other games would be. But it'll be a lot of fun with a couple of mates, playing different classes. I'm hoping it's 4 people per level, so you can have a 4-player co-op, similar to other zombie sort of stuff for that. And of course, you've got the usual the classes you got in the game at the moment. So you've got Sophia, you've got Ash, and all that lot of stuff, and hopefully also we get a lot more backstory to them, because Siege is lacking in story quite a bit. But maybe this is probably not the game for it. I don't know. It's nothing as big as Apex for the stories, for the characters, should I say. But still, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully it is just a smaller game that I can have fun with. Get easy achievements with, please, because I am achievement hunting little bitch. But yeah, I really like that, especially since I'm game sharing. So it's a game that I can have with a couple of mates, even stream it if I really wanted to. Maybe a nice game to stream. And I'm hoping also a release date, because I heard it may be coming out this year. Maybe. Our next one would be Gods and Monsters. Of course, I've probably got the same thing as everyone, as the last couple of things. I want gameplay and a release date for it. I think one of the trailers actually got spoiled. No, what's the word for it, Reese? Well, it got released somehow without Ubisoft permission, of course. It was out there in the wild. And it looked quite good, personally. It looked like a Legend of Zelda, but with a Greek theme to it. I don't know, people out there going, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 10 out of 10. And for me, it was like, it was alright. It was a 7, 8 out of 10. I may get slandered for that by a mile. But yeah, I am looking forward to it, because it seems like it does enough. It gives you a cool little story. It gives you an open world, which it's cool to look at. And it's made by the creators of Assassin's Creed. What's the one? Odyssey. And it just looks like a really good game. Honestly, it looks colourful. It looks brilliant. Of course, I think this is going to also be the usual £60 sort of deal. But we'll see what happens with it. It looks fairly open. I'm hoping it doesn't have the same structure as Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because it is quite open in Breath of the Wild. But I want it to be quite linear, the story anyway. I want the story in Gods and Monsters to be quite linear. That's what I'm trying to say. I want it to be where this whole idea of, instead of going, I can go straight to the boss, I want it to be quite linear. Give me a good story, give me good characters, and give me cool ass enemies to fight. What else do you need a game, right? Right, for the final, I think how you would say is known game. I will talk about Beyond Good and Evil 2 later, but God, that's a hope and a dream right there. One we're going to talk about in that one. Uh, so we're going to talk about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Obviously, it's coming out this year. I think it's coming out in October. I don't know what day. I'd probably have to look it up after this video. Bright on the screen. It's coming out in yeah. But I'm hoping we get gameplay, because we had no gameplay, no whatsoever. You lied to us, Xbox. Why do you lie? You told us we get Valhalla gameplay. You lie. Well, that's another wish list I'm hoping to do. It's the Xbox one, but we'll talk about that later. This is Ubisoft Reese. This is linear Reese. This is a linear video. Come on, straight to the point. Yeah, but I'm hoping for gameplay, proper gameplay. I've heard it can have quite crunchy gameplay to it, from what I've heard. So I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping for a crunchy gameplay, and other bits and pieces towards it. With that in mind, I also want a DLC roadmap with the game, because we had quite good DLC in the first one, in the previous two games, in the weird new trilogy. So I want a good DLC roadmap for that one, just to look at the cool stories that they can tell with, and hopefully they don't have the same debacle with Odyssey's what was it, relationship in the DLC. Yikes, yeah. It wasn't great. It was ugly to look at, the comments anyway. It was just slandering, like, oh dear, what have they done? They've really fucked up. But I am looking forward to gameplay mostly, and I need that at the big conference. If they don't have it, I'm not pre-ordering. Or I'm not even to buy it, to be fair. I need gameplay with it at this conference, and I think they know it, and I'm hoping they release it. And of course, DLC roadmap. I want to know what's coming to the game after the launch, just to see whether or not it's worth even like picking up the gold edition, as they like to put it. I want to know if it's even worth picking up the gold edition, personally. Right, going into more hoping that this will turn up sort of stuff. Well, this is basically like the part of the list where I'm saying I'm hoping they do this, and they probably won't do some of these. So I've heard that this may be at the conference. Far Cry 6. I want it to be there, but to be fair, they need to change a lot about the gameplay of the whole series. And you can't just do what they did in Far Cry 5 and said, oh, we'll just take this one thing out. It was good enough for the first game, but if I want to be lazy for the next, alright, what I should have said was that the idea that the game companies will be quite lazy when it comes to DLC. So Far Cry 5 was a fantastic game. It changed quite a bit from the formula, but the only problem is they kind of put everything into New Dawn, except change a few graphics and add a few more missions and all that. And it was alright, good that you did it, but you couldn't get away with, like, if you look at it like Assassin's Creed 2, it changed everything from Assassin's Creed 1. And they could get away with basically redoing it, changing a few bits in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and giving us a new story. They could get away with that. But with Far Cry 5, they changed it enough to where it felt like a sequel, but not enough so that DLCs, or standalone DLCs, should I say, can't do. I don't think New Dawn was a very good game, in my personal opinion. That's why it didn't even have a good story. Didn't have good main enemies. It was a bit naff. Sorry about that. I've got my dog in the background. Shut up, Ed. Sorry. But yeah. We have got all this sort of stuff for Far Cry 6. And they would need to change quite a bit to make it where I think, oh, maybe they take away the crafting element, because that's got old really fast. Oh my god. And even hunting animals, it was alright. It became a mainstay of the thing. And of course we want a good story, and we want a main bad guy that is honestly between Far Cry 3, 4 and 5, they did their enemies perfectly, except I will say 5 had a good main antagonist, so it was like Father Joseph Seed, and he was good, but the 3 other people kind of muddled the game. It was like, oh, let's have all these weird wacky characters, and it didn't much work in that regard. So I'm hoping to see not just innovation in the Far Cry 6 gameplay department, but also in their storytelling, where it's just we see the main antagonist. He will. I want him to show up. I want him to be the biggest threat out there. I don't want him just to be this ideology of the head of this big enemy branch that we have to take down. I want him at every corner, at every step, trying to stop us, because Far Cry 3 has, the Far Cry series, from what I've played, hasn't done that yet. But to be fair, I haven't played Far Cry 2. That's on me. Moving on, shall we say? We've got Beyond Good and Evil 2. And I know this is going quite fast for a list, but this is my first proper edited video. There you go. That's my excuse. I'm not very good at this yet. We'll go. Like I said, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is the next thing I want to talk about. This is my hope. My hope. Oh my god, this would be a hope. Let me emphasize hope. That we actually get a release date for it. My god, we do need a release date. We've seen this at the past couple of E3s, and now technically this is, well, it's not E3 per se. It's still another convention, and we're probably going to see it there, and we'll probably get a bit more. We're going to get another trailer, and that's it. And probably next year we'll get another trailer, and then it'll be cancelled. I'll be like, it was a good thing. There's so many good things to go alongside of it, but the only problem is it's in development hell, it looks like, anyway. But if they prove me wrong and give me a release date, I'm happy. Very happy indeed. So come on, Ubisoft. Out of all of them, I would really like Watch Dogs Legion gameplay and Beyond Good and Evil 2 release date. That'd be great. Thank you. I should have done that for my whole list. That's my whole list, everyone. No. I've got 2 more things to talk about. And one of them isn't going to happen. For sure. For sure. But it'd be nice if they did. King Kong Remaster. That's all I've got to say. If you didn't know this, Ubisoft made a game in, I think it's late in the early 2000s. It was King Kong. It was like cross-gen between the Xbox original and Xbox 360. It wasn't just for those consoles. It was like PS2 as well, but I played it on the original Xbox. But I want them to make a remaster of that, because it was, if every game in my childhood could come back, then why can't this? SpongeBob came back. Several other. In fact, another one. If anyone is listening, Scalar. If anyone can remember that game, I'd love that to come back. That's the only 2 games that haven't come back in some sort of way, should I say? Oh, come on, THQ. In fact, THQ did it. Come on, THQ. I know you own the rights. Where's Scalar? It did quite well. It sold quite a bit back then. So THQ, I love you, THQ, because you've done really well at the moment, and I want to play all of your games, except Desperados 3. Personally, not a big fan. Or maybe I'll play it for. I don't know. I'm still deciding on a lot of things. But yeah, I would like a King Kong remaster, please. Please, 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 please. It was such a good game. I want it to be remastered, and it was. And I want to. Can we have it a little bit more gory than last time? Just a personal preference on that. Maybe like little splatters of blood where you rip their jaw, the dinosaur's jaw. Oh, so cool. I'm speaking like a 12-year-old, even though I'm basically almost 21 at this point. And finally, I want some new IPs from them. That's my final wish. And it is brand new IPs. So that would be like new games that aren't from any series or any franchises or anything like that. I just want new IPs, independent, or whatever. Actually, throughout my years of, I do know what it is actually. Even though I've done the game design, I can't remember what IP stands for. I'll remember it at some time, and I'll be annoyed at myself for it. So yeah, I should probably also get intro and outro at some point. I have to create that, for fuck's sake. Sorry, I'm getting lost track. I do want new IP, so like something they haven't probably done before would be like I don't remember Ubisoft ever doing a horror game, so I'll be intrigued to see what their take on that would be. So there's that. I do want that to be a thing, and maybe like I don't know. Like I said, I want new IPs, and I don't want it to be in existing franchises like Rainbow Six or the Assassin's Creed or even Far Cry. I just want it to be its own new thing. And I know it's scary, Ubisoft, but you have been losing a lot of money recently, so take my advice before it goes away. But there's plenty of other IPs out there. You could create brand new IPs. You could create a brand new story and get away with it. But honestly, just go out there, be brave, and create new IPs. That's all I've got to say for you. Because at the moment, you're starting to look. Even you admitted, like, you've got a lot of the same games, basically, the open world action games. So let's break that. Let's break that idea. So that's all of my wish list for the Ubisoft Press Conference 2020. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. And of course, in the background will be like random clips of like Apex Legends, Doom Eternal, and whatever I got my hand. I probably like the mashup, the FPS mashup I did as a stream. Probably like a mix of all those. Like, all right, here's this and that, and then like pictures. Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So however it looks, it will look. Maybe I'll put fireworks in the background. I don't know. But it has been nice to create this video. Nevertheless, it will probably be out. I'm hoping it'll be out before everything. I don't know. I'm literally doing this like 4 days before, and I'm not doing anything with the computer on Saturday, Sunday, so I should get this done by tomorrow, hopefully. So, wish me luck on that, in that regard. But of course, if you enjoyed watching, listening to what I want out of the Ubisoft Press Conference 2020, then click like and subscribe, I guess. This is a different type of video, and whether or not people like it will determine whether I do it again. So, yeah, this is me signing off, I guess. I'm so unconfident at the moment. So expect that to be replaced at some point. I don't know. Help. And that is goodbye.